Namaskaram. Hi, Team Carriger from Guru Yoga, and today we're here to practice a little bit of yoga and meditation. So I'm glad you can join me. And we're inside today because it's a little bit cool outside. Well, not a little bit, it's actually really cold. Maybe about 15 degrees, maybe less. But nice and sunny outside nonetheless. So we're going to do a little bit of yoga in the home today. So I'd like you to just sit comfortably on your block or your mats, or even on a bolster, and then sit in your half lotus, full lotus, or even no lotus positions, which we call Sukhasana. It's easy pose, in other words. So Ardha Padmasana, Padmasana, or Sukhasana. If you want to sit into hero posture, which is Virasana, go with that as well. Otherwise, we're going to sit here, palms facing up with the drawn eyes to shut. And then begin with just this long breath out. Slowly taking awareness to the inhale. Top of the breath, a little pause before letting that breath again drift back out. So remember, as you continue to breathe and infuse one inhale to the next exhale, I want you to just observe yourself in whatever option you've taken, whatever variation you've taken within that pose, and just ultimately be yourself. This is what this is about. It's about you understanding your relationship with the universal relationship of Chitta, of reality. And you may learn things, experience things, observe things along the way. So as the breath infuses from one inhale to the next exhale, I want you to lift the spine, feel the tailbone tuck under, so Mula Bandha, pelvic floor is completely engaged, and then the chest widens, the shoulders relax, feel the back of the neck lift. And the eyebrows again also drawing upwards as your chin begins to tuck in, but up. Slowing the breath down as you connect your thumb to your index finger, Nana Mudra. The arms could be straight so that the elbows are unflexed. Spine erect so that your Shushumna Nadi and the other nadis or energy lines, which we are calling Ida and Pingala, to also have an easier pathway for clearing, for releasing, for letting go. And this is what this practice is about this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you may be in the world, at whatever time it is. It's about completely detaching, right? Detaching from your thoughts and emotions for that moment in time, knowing, okay, well, I have this clarity rather than confidence, but clarity to just focus on what is happening at hand, what's required, what the required action is, based on the situation that is present. And paying attention to that. And from there, what is the past has always been let go into the past, and whatever the future is, it's not about drawing it into now, but just waiting for it to happen, if it does happen, but then being non-attached if it doesn't happen. Just like you're not attached to your breath, right? You're letting it go to promote change, and then inhaling again, also promoting change before exhaling back out. So your breath, your pranayama, is a great example of letting go. Letting go with grace, with ease, and ultimately conscious that you're just letting it go. And as you start to move to the right, and then to the back, and to the left, and to the front, we're promoting this little spiral. Taking the time, along with your inhales and exhales, to get into a space of contentment, santosha. A deep breath in, and a long breath out. And then coming back to center, shoulder blades wide, take a deep inhale. And then slowly coming forward on the breath out. So extending the arms, shoulders away from the ears. And then I want you to extend both arms now to the left side of your space. All right, extending the arms, feeling that right hip press into the floor, taking a breath in, and then lowering the chest closer to the floor as you exhale. Feel the lungs again, and then slowly work your way back up, switching sides. But before you do so, whatever foot was on top, we're going to take the opposite foot on top now. So left foot on top if your right foot was on there earlier, and then we're heading to the right. And it's not a matter how low you can get, but of how much you can let go. How you can get to let go. Another full inhale. And then coming back to center on the breath out. Chest up nice and high. Take a full breath in. And relaxing on the exhale. So the spine upright, palms facing up, thumbs connect to the index finger. I want you to continue to breathe. Continue to settle. Content with where you are. No matter how discontent you are mentally or emotionally. Again, that's about letting that go. To be now, in the moments, for the moments. And coming to a more conscious state of activity. The processes that happen when you are in the space between no longer, not yet, become exponential. There is no limit. When it comes to conscious self, physically yes, emotionally yes, mentally yes, consciously no. It's constantly expanding, contracting, then expanding again. So there are no boundaries, unlike the other three I've mentioned. Totally different dimensions and planes of dimensions that help in the practice of yoga, but as an overall, it's the non-physical state that is of the utmost importance and priority. Breathe in, and then releasing, taking the soles of the feet to touch as you exhale. So we're going to take knees wide, right? You're going to feel the ankles roll out if you need to. If you just want to keep the soles of the feet to touch, that's cool too, but if you want to roll the ankles out, roll them out. You're going to take the elbows wide, neck long, inhale, and then bring the chest closer towards the feet as you exhale. Still following the breath, breathing in and out. So you're not trying to push down into the knees, you're just using the gravity of the arms to lengthen the insides of the legs. Here we're clearing area of the Svasthana, the area center or energy center that relates to wants and desires, right? The organs here, reproductive organs. Take a breath in, fold a little bit more in the exhale, and then slowly coming back to center. Chest up nice and high, take a breath in. So you're hooking your fingers around the shins and extending the arms. Deep inhale and even longer exhales. So it comes back to how much you can let go. What you're willing to let go of. That's going to contribute to your life as an overall whole. In a more positive, fulfilling way. Not in the opposite, detrimental, degenerating processes, which we tend to find ourselves within the mind, or we get stuck in the mind or stuck in the emotions. It stops us from actually living. You thinking of yesterday or thinking of tomorrow is not living right now. you're elsewhere. And you miss opportunities when you're elsewhere. Breathe in. And then back to center. Breathe out. I'm going to take that left knee. I'm going to rotate it slightly inwards so that the sole of the right foot is on the knee, chest up nice and high. Right hand on the inside of the knee, left hand on the block or a bolster. Behind you, even on the floor. Use a pillow if you want. Chest up nice and high, take a breath. We're going to turn. Turn to the left on the exhale. Spine lifts up, breathe in. And then rotating, exhaling. Another full inhale. Rotating on the breath out. And then coming back to center, switch sides. Sole of the foot, left side is there. Right knee bent almost at 90 degrees. Left hand on the inside of the left knee. And then right hand behind you. Chest high, inhale. Turning, rotating, exhale. So we're rinsing out through the mid upper back, but also the organs within the body are slowly beginning to purify. This process of purification, again, does not start physically. It comes from the energy from within you, your prana. And when your body tries to rid itself of chemicals, toxic chemicals, it happens from within, right? The energy of your body knowingly needs to release, let go of what it's holding on to. Breathe in, and then back to center, exhale. So the soles of the feet are going to touch, knees go wide. You take the hands behind the back, grab the elbows. Once you set yourself in place, take a breath in. We're going to slowly start to take the right leg straight, left knee bent on the inside. Breathe in. You're going to come forward, folding on the exhale. So lead with the chest and the belly button over, and leading with the shoulders and the back of the neck. Keep pushing that right heel away from your face. Inhaling, lengthening, and then exhale. Take a full breath in. And as you slowly take the hands forward, fold a little bit more on the exhale. Continue to relax in this posture. All right? Any resistance, again, is driven by the mind. As if there's some sort of change in what you're used to in terms of your tolerance of pain. And the mind tries to shift that pain away, that suffering, to something else that's still physical, but less demanding. As you come to the source of the physical, which is your prana, your life force, the energy, then there's no need to digress. You're always constantly moving forward or expanding outwardly. Take a breath in. Fold a little bit more on the exhale. And then gently come back up. I'm going to take your left leg, straighten it out. Right knee bent so that the knees are almost on the inside, or the knees are almost touching. Hands behind your back, chest up nice and high. Take a breath in. And then folding. Exhale. Remember, nothing's forced. Everything has its own accordance of the golden rule. All right? 1.62 or 64. When you look that up, look at the flowers. It's perfect geometry when they start to bloom, like a rose. And shells. And water when it's in a turbine type movement. Clouds are the same. Breathe in. And then left arm, right arm come forward. Folding, exhale.
So feel like you're drawing your right hip back, left hip forward. And you're starting to soften closer to the floor. Breathing in. And then out again. Take a deep inhale. And then releasing. Come back up on the breath out. Soles the feet to touch again, knees wide. Take a breath in. We're coming forward this time. Elbows in front of the shins. Forehead towards the floor. Deep inhale. Softening to the ground on the exhale. Feel the lungs. And gently release, come back up on the exhale. Alright, left knee bent. Alright, you can sit on the block of the bolster if you need to. You're going to come forward with that left arm. Take a breath in. We're going to hook left elbow around the shin, right arm behind your back. So this time we're going to start to bring the forward fold a little bit more, pulling the shoulder blades apart and then the chin drawn towards your throat or your chest. Here you can continue or begin to promote an ujjayi breath into the nose with a slight constriction at the back of the throat. As you feel the lungs, you're letting everything just soften closer to the floor. Breathing in. And then out. So let go of the tension in the shoulders, in the back of the neck, maybe the hands. Still gripping lightly, but just what's required, right? Just the right amount of pressure to hold on to the fingers or the wrist. If you need a strap, use a strap or a towel. Breathe in. And then chin to the left on the breath out. So you're going to draw your left shoulder towards your chin and then away, but the right shoulder pulls away from the right ear. Eventually getting a little bit deeper, bringing the chest closer to the floor. But still, you want to lengthen the spine forward, away from the hips. A deep breath in. A long breath out. Slowly release, come back to center. We switch sides. So this time taking the right shoulder. On the inside of the right knee, you're going to hook, right elbow. Left hand behind your back, interlace your fingers, chest towards the floor. Eventually the hand's going to go a little bit lower. And again, just a minimal amount of grip with your fingers or your wrist or the towel to hand. And it's coming back to that breath, right? One of the markers to let you know that you actually exist. And let's deepen that connection between you and the universe. Right? Observing that life force via your breathing. And as you take your chin to the right, inhale. Left shoulder away from the ears, exhale. Another breath here. And then slowly release on the exhale. We're coming back up to sitting. Alright, so I'm going to sit. I'll sit diagonally. We're in this pose, Vedasana, right? Hero posture, chest up nice and high, tuck the tailbone to maintain that natural curve in your spine. And as you take your fingertips back, you can place the hands on a block or a bolster like this to give you a little bit of support if you can't quite get to the ground with the hands. Otherwise, we're pointing the fingers in the same direction as your knees. Chest up for a moment, chin to chest, and then start to squeeze the shoulder blades together to protect the back of the neck. And then we'll just open up that heart space. Breathing in. And then out again. Feel the knees start to come up off the floor, right? So you're resting on just the top of the foot, maybe the ankle joint, definitely the toes. You may need to move the hands back further. For the guys, a little bit wider through the hands. A deep breath in. Full breath out. Another inhale. And then slowly go down a little bit lower. If you need to stay here, stay here. If you need to put a bolster across the back to get your elbows to rest, because that's where we're going, you're here. If you can get your elbows completely on the floor, go straight to that. All right? So we're going to here. Then eventually top of the head on the ground. Opening up that heart space. Resting on your elbows, your feet. If you can only do one knee, do one knee. The other leg bent towards the sky. Continue to lift from the throat, the chin away from your knees. Hips slightly lifted by flexing the thighs. One more inhale. And if you need to come up, switch legs if you need to, otherwise your head's completely flat on the floor. Arms at 90 degrees with the palms facing up. If you want to grab the elbows to give you a little bit more length, go for it, otherwise we're still here. As an option. Back up to the elbows as an option. Or the other leg you switch to, if you're using one leg, as another option. Remember to send the knees forward. Flex through the thighs. Lift it. Breathing in. And then out again. One more. Full inhale. And then slowly remove one leg at a time. Breathe out. Knees to chest. Little rocks, circles possibly from right side to left, left side to right. And we're going to take the knees to the left, open up the chest. So here you're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, and then you're going to take your right hand, place it just above the hip. Alright, so you'll feel a hip bone there. I want the middle of the palm to be in that position. Alright, and you're going to slowly start to draw the hands in the direction that the right knee is pointing, or both knees are pointing. Alright, so hips are going one way, and the chest is going to turn off to the right side. Exhale. So two movements going here. You're lengthening the spine on the breath in, and then you're pushing into your right hand, right shoulder to the floor as you exhale. Big inhale. And then slowly release. We switch sides on the breath out. So stack one hip on top of the other, bring both knees to the right. Right hand on top of the left, and then the left hand, take it to the hip. You're going to push lightly the hands towards the right as your chest goes to the left. So it's getting this rotation. The spine lengthening on the inhale, and then turning on the exhale. One more breath in, rotating on the breath out, and then back to center. Reset the spine. And then into butterfly. Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly posture. Soles of feet to touch, knees wide, palms facing up. Just realign the spine if you need to lift it and bring it back to a position that feels maybe uncomfortable. It depends on the alignment of your vertebra. One more inhale. And then slowly bring the knees back together. Switching sides, exhale. So knees in, feet out wide. Yeah? Take the feet as wide as possible. Squeeze the inner thighs towards the floor along with the knees. And I want you to feel the hips. This area of the body starting to release. As the energy will slowly start to travel upwards. Make sure that it's not blocked from just beneath the navel, from the chest to the throat, to the middle of the forehead or eyebrows, and then off through the crown of the head. It does go through a few stages before it's completely released out of you. One more breath in, and then releasing, exhale, knees to chest. Start to rock and roll, forwards and backwards, so we come back into a sitting position. So now we're going to come back into the splits, right? You can place the bolster behind you. Ideally, I want the block or the bolster in front of you, and you're pushing your heels away, chest up nice and high. Take a breath in. We're going to slowly start to go to the left, that way, yeah, left side, all right? So it's not about how low you can get. I want you to send the belly button forward while pushing your right heel in the opposite direction. So both thighs need to be engaged. And you're focusing again on just lengthening the spine forward. Observing how you can let go. Right? Letting go of what is tight, what is sore, what's tense. And I'm talking about not physically, but what's mentally happening, what's emotionally happening. The body is just a byproduct of what's the result is of what you're thinking and feeling mentally and emotionally. Remember, it has its own intelligence. It heals without you asking to heal it. The cells reproduce in ways that you are not asking it to do. To digest that, like the body automatically knows how to digest food. Now start to go a little bit lower. Bring the chest closer towards the left leg. Forehead to shin or block, or you can place a block underneath your stomach. And between that and the leg, breathing in, lengthening, and then breathe out. One more inhale. Come back to center. We're going to switch sides on the breath out, right? So start to lead the chest forward, belly button. You're going maybe about 40 degrees, 45 possibly. Now push the left heel away in the opposite direction. Alright. Chest up, belly engaged, neck long. Now we're starting to stretch. Starting to lead the way forward. Breathing in. And then out again. Letting go of tension that's driven from the mind or originating from the mind is probably one of the hardest things to do. You want to be able to just observe what it is, recall it possibly because it's now based in your memory, and then slowly start to clear that cachet out, right? By breathing, by observing what's happening right now, and then you'll no longer be attached to it. Hopefully, it may take time, may not. It depends on how willing you are to let go. You may say you want to let go, but if you're not 100% sure, then you don't want to let go. Simple as that. It's either all or nothing. Not maybe, if. Make a definite decision about yourself. Take your inhale. Fold on the breath out. Keep pressing that left hip towards the floor as you continue to extend the arms forward towards the right. One more breath in. Fold a little bit more in the exhale. And then slowly come back up. Take your time to come back up. And we're going to take the bolster, right? If you need to slide back a little bit, slide back. Maybe so you can see me. Chest up nice and high. Inhale. And we're going to start to bring the elbows forward on the exhale, right? So whether it's the elbows or straight arms, whether you take the straight arms forward here or elbows on the bolster block, continue to press the heels away. Feel like the inner thighs are rotating back. All right? And you're constantly promoting an ujjayi breath. Eventually your chest will get closer to the floor, but it's not by forcing it down or rounding through the upper back just to seem like you're getting closer, but to send the chest forward and then feel like the hips are pressing away. If you're doing that correctly, the hamstrings on either leg are going to feel a definite stretch. As you twist around and come forward, the intensity and the tension comes off the back of the legs. Thus, your spine is now in a compromised position. Breathing in. And then out again. Go a little bit lower. Extend the arms further forward. Chest or forehead on the block or the floor. So remember to breathe into that lower back and even beneath that where your sacrum is, in between your hips. Inhale into that spot or those spots. And then let go as you exhale. Deep inhales. And even longer breaths out. Beautiful. We're coming back up. All right, so we're going to get onto our backs. Yeah. So onto the backs. And then what you do when you get onto your back is get your block, pillow, or bolster, place it underneath your hips, and then take the legs to the sky. All right. Nice and high. Let the head hang, and then softly land on your mat. Pushing the heels up, relax the shoulders. And coming back to this ujjayi breath. Right, just letting go. So what here we're doing physically is just letting go of toxins. Letting go of your physical breath. pranayama, and then eventually your energy that you've released and moved up and stirred within the self is starting to just let go. This will also give the body time to adjust. It'll give the mind time to adjust. Deep inhale. And the legs over your head. Halasana plow. Exhale. So hands support the lower back. You don't necessarily need to take the feet to the ground first, just as long as the spine is not compromised. And then eventually you're going to lower the feet. Again, take your time. Eventually you get to the floor at some point, but you want to create space right between your vertebrae. You're not trying to round that lower back. So if it's a little bit tight because the weather's been a little bit cold, or you've trained, right, or your hydration is not where it needs to be, then keep the feet off the floor. Lengthen the legs, push the heels away. Shoulder blades wide. Take a deep inhale. And then slowly bend the knees. And coming down. Moving the bolster out of the way. Or block out of the way as you exhale. And from here we're going to come straight into Ananda Balasana, which is blissful baby. So grabbing the inner arches of each foot, take the knees up nice and wide. And then gently walking from side to side. Here's where you start to settle, right? The thoughts may start flooding in, the emotions may be flooding in, but it comes back down to you just letting go, even if it's one at a time, one thought at a time. But eventually, the thoughts will start to dissolve, right? They're not going to interject or interrupt you in your state of meditation. So there'll be less to let go of because you're more efficient at how you use your energy. Take one inhale. And then release into Shavasana as you exhale. Toes roll off to the sides. You can take your legs onto the bolster. If you want to remove the bolster entirely, go for it. I'm going to open up the door here so you can hear the wind. And just allow yourself to just be yourself. Right? We tend to try to put on these acts, these masks, whatever it is, to pursue whatever it is that we're trying to reach for or attain. But everything that we need is already happening from within. We just need to realize it. Right? That's the whole thing about yoga, is about realization and then eventually enlightenment. And as you slowly wake up from Shavasana, take a long inhale through the nose and a full purifying breath out through the mouth. Begin to move your fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles as you bring yourself back into focus. And as the arms stretch high and overhead, inhale. Lengthen as you breathe out. Slowly take a shift to the right side of your mat. Bending from the knees, using your arm as a cushion or pillow to guide you. And then when you're ready, with the eyes shut, come to a sitting position, facing the front, leading the hands back to the heart. Atman Anjali Mudra, thumbs connecting to the chest. And then we'll seal this practice off with one primordial sound of Om. Inhale. A slight bow the chin, hands lift, Ajna, third iris. Sachitananda Soham. Namaste. Cool, thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that restorative welcoming back from the week class. If you were busy this weekend, but really getting you to just really ground and learn how to let go without pushing yourself too far, because you're working about efficiency, right? Less is more in some cases. So be sure to check out the other videos, subscribe below, and send notifications as well on the YouTube video so that anything that comes up you'll get a ding about. Otherwise, thank you very much. Namaste.